1 year ago, a quiet afternoon unexpectedly became one of the most talked about moments among fans of Wang Shen Yue. What seemed like an ordinary outing slowly transformed into a scene that sparked endless speculation, curiosity, and fascination that still lingers today. It began without warning. There were no cameras positioned deliberately, no promotional event, no formal appearance. Just a calm day, soft sunlight, and a relaxed walk that looked entirely private. Yet those who spotted them noticed something immediately unusual. Walking beside them were two small children, each holding one of their hands. The image was simple, almost peaceful, but it carried an emotional weight that stunned onlookers. Observers described how natural the interaction appeared. Dylan matched his pace to one child, leaning slightly as he spoke quietly, pointing at something ahead. Shen Yue, on the other side, gently adjusted the other child's sleeve, her expression warm and attentive. There was no hesitation in their movements, no awkwardness. Instead, the coordination between them felt instinctive, as though this routine was familiar. The moment quickly became memorable because of its authenticity. At one point during the walk, one of the children let go and ran a few steps forward. Dylan reacted calmly, catching up without urgency, speaking softly. Shen Yue laughed gently, watching the interaction. The four of them then continued together, the children naturally returning to hold their hands. The scene resembled a quiet family outing more than anything else, and that impression fueled immediate discussion. They reportedly stopped near a small cafe, choosing an outdoor table. Dylan pulled out a chair for one child while Shen Yue ordered drinks. The children sat comfortably, chatting as if accustomed to their presence. One of them reached for Shen Yue's hand, and she responded by squeezing it lightly. Dylan noticed and smiled, joining the conversation in a relaxed tone. What struck witnesses most was the lack of performance. There were no exaggerated gestures, no awareness of being watched. Shen Yue wiped a small stain from a child's sleeve. Dylan carefully handed over a drink, ensuring it was not too hot. These quiet actions created an atmosphere that felt grounded and genuine. As the outing continued, subtle moments added to the narrative. The group resumed walking, the children again positioned between them. Their pace remained slow and unhurried. Dylan looked down, saying something that made both children laugh. Shen Yue glanced at him briefly, smiling softly before focusing on the children again. Another memorable detail came when they paused near a shop window. One child pointed excitedly, and Dylan crouched down to explain something. Shen Yue leaned closer to see, joining the conversation. The four of them shared a brief laugh, and passers-by noticed the warmth of the interaction. The moment felt spontaneous, almost intimate. Fans later discussed how naturally both adults coordinated. When one child slowed down, both adjusted their pace. When one spoke, both listened attentively. This synchronized response suggested familiarity and shared responsibility. It was these subtle cues that made the sighting so captivating. Toward the end of the outing, one of the children appeared tired. Shen Yue gently lifted the child, adjusting their position comfortably. Dylan walked beside them, carrying a small bag. The balance of responsibilities seemed effortless. The scene unfolded quietly, yet it left a strong impression. Before entering a waiting vehicle, one child hugged Shen Yue. She returned the embrace warmly. Dylan opened the door, guiding them carefully. The sequence lasted only seconds, but it reinforced the sense of closeness that defined the entire afternoon. Speculation spread quickly after the sighting. Some believed the children could belong to relatives or friends. Others wondered if the moment hinted at something more private. Regardless of interpretation, the image of the four together remained powerful. What made the scene so unforgettable was its simplicity. There was no dramatic reveal, only small gestures and quiet interactions. Yet those fragments created a narrative that fans continued to revisit long after the day ended. Even now, 1 year later, the memory of that afternoon still resonates. The possibility that such a personal moment unfolded in public fascinated audiences. It showed a softer side, one grounded in calm conversation, shared laughter, and gentle care. The story endures because it captured something rare. Not spectacle, not performance, but a glimpse of everyday warmth that felt authentic and unexpected. In the weeks that followed that afternoon 1 year ago, discussions continued to grow. Fans began revisiting every detail, trying to piece together what the moment might have meant for Dylan Wang and Shen Yue. The fascination was not driven by confirmation, but by the emotional tone of the sighting itself. Some imagined what might have happened after they left in the vehicle. Perhaps the group headed toward a quieter neighborhood, away from public attention. Fans pictured the children dozing off during the ride, while Shen Yue gently adjusted their position. Dylan, focused on the road, occasionally glanced over, ensuring everyone was comfortable. These imagined scenes added depth to the original moment, reinforcing the sense of calm partnership. Others reflected on how their public appearances shortly after seemed subtly different. Observers noted that both actors appeared relaxed, composed, and quietly attentive toward each other. During interviews, their responses felt thoughtful, and occasional glances suggested an unspoken understanding. These interpretations may have been influenced by the earlier sighting, yet they contributed to the growing narrative. Another detail often discussed was the ease with which they interacted with the children. The comfort level suggested familiarity, not formality. Shen Yu's gentle gestures and Dylan's calm attentiveness created an image of shared responsibility. Fans found this aspect particularly compelling because it felt natural rather than staged. The story also sparked conversations about privacy. Many believed that if such moments existed, they would likely remain understated. Both actors had always maintained a composed public image, avoiding dramatic displays. The quiet nature of the outing seemed consistent with that approach. As months passed, the sighting became something of a reference point. Whenever fans discussed their dynamic, they returned to that afternoon. The memory of the four walking together, laughing softly, and moving in sync remained vivid. It symbolized warmth and possibility, even without certainty. 1 year later, the impact of that moment has not faded. Instead, it has evolved into a story about subtle connection and quiet authenticity. Whether the children were relatives, family friends, or simply part of a shared circle, the scene captured a gentle atmosphere that resonated deeply. In the end, the lasting appeal lies in the feeling it created. A calm walk, shared laughter, and small gestures that suggested understanding. The memory continues to spark curiosity, reminding fans that sometimes the most meaningful moments are the simplest ones.